Yes, now everyone needs to open again cam and microphone. So
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
perfect.
All right. Yeah. So there are 4 companies. So one thing is these are all at different stages. A couple of them are market ready, like they have all the necessary approvals and all of that. But in India, none of them are CE marked yet. So I think this, in a way, is early stages for them exploring uh, how they should enter the EU market. So I guess the discussion with you is going to be focused on what kind of studies and what kind of things they need to take care of to eventually promote adoption, and what they would need. Like a lot of them have enough clinical studies, but all of those have been done in India. So the kind of questions they're going to have are like, would they need to do bridging studies or maybe multi-center studies in Europe to push adoption and eventually get into the market there? So just to give you a brief of the companies, one is AI Gnosis. They have a digital screening platform for autism, and they essentially use a video-based eye tracking tool that helps with early screening in children. Their main the gap that they're addressing is that usually autism is diagnosed in children around the ages of 4 and 5, even in advanced ecosystems like the EU. But with their screening platform, they say that they can reduce the age of detection to around 2 years, which is like the critical period for any kind of addressal because the neuroplasticity is higher. So that's AI Gnosis. Then there's another company called as Serigen Medi Products. So they have a silk-based wound healing platform technology, and they have 2 products which I'm sure the founder will talk about. So they are, again, it's a pure medtech product. They have all the clinical approvals. They recently did a pretty large multicentric study in India, and they show that their products perform better than the current best products out there. And they've compared it with a company, I don't remember the name, but one that's highly used and adopted in EU as well. So that's Serigen. Then there's one more company, it's called Open Med Labs. They have a drug delivery device, and one of their first products is an insulin pump, which they're very close to launching it in India. They have done early clinical studies. Uh, for their pitching to EU stakeholders, they're bringing in a slightly different delivery device. They're working with a pharma company that has a drug for Parkinson's. So they are in talks with the pharma company to collaborate with them and bring in their device as in combination with the new drug for Parkinson's. So they want to sort of expand their portfolio and make it like a drug delivery sort of cohort to go with several drugs. So that's Open Med Labs. Then the fourth company is Intignis. I'm not sure if the founder from Intignis is joining us today. She might be joining online actually. So they are a women's health based company. Their first product is a screening kit for preeclampsia. So preeclampsia is like something that complicates pregnancies, and it's pretty uh, widely present across the world, including in the EU. So they have a kit, like they have actually, they're pioneering a new biomarker that detects preeclampsia early in the pregnancy and can help with interventions. So these are the 4 companies that are going to be there today. And like I said, all of them are in slightly different stages. 3 of them are already in the market in India. One of them is very close to the market, and they are looking for ways to get into the EU healthcare space. And over the last few months, and especially in the last 2 weeks in Barcelona, all of them have been essentially deciding on how to go along with their EU strategy. Should they be thinking of setting up a local sort of subsidiary of their company? Which country they should be targeting? So they are not necessarily limiting themselves to Spain or Catalan. They're also considering other countries in EU. So depending on their specific product. So that's where they're at. If you all have any questions, please feel free to ask and I'll try to answer to the best of my knowledge.
So I think, hi everyone, I'm Pooja. Mark is also here. Mark,
Yes. So,
Hi.
hello, Mark. Just let me do after this quick and fascinating introduction, let me just present all the people that we have gathered here today, and then I let you, Mark, do the presentations on your side, and then maybe we can hear from the company's quick explanation on what they are doing. Is that okay for everyone? Nice. Perfect. So, welcome everyone. My name is Jordi Jordà, and I'm the head director of the Catalan Social and Health Consortium. Okay. I will just do a quick presentation on who we are and who is the people that we invited in this meeting. So, to do so, I will put some images because it's easier for everyone to get all the information. I'm sharing my screen now. So we have done this fantastic image to share it with our colleagues that we invited in this meeting. And as I was saying, we will do this agenda. So we're in the quick introduction. Then I'm presenting now who we are. The Catalan Health and Social Care Consortium is an entity based in Catalonia, which is, I guess if you are around here already, some of you, they will probably have explained to you that Catalonia is a territory in Spain of around 8 million people. And in this territory, there are several entities that work in healthcare. So we are like a network of these healthcare organizations, and we try to provide services to all of them. So to make you a quick overview, all the healthcare centers that are into our network, they are responsible for 63 primary care centers, 43 hospitals around all the region, mental health care centers, and also intermediate care. Okay, and what we try to do is we try to gather the innovation departments on all these healthcare centers, because we really think that the innovation departments are the people that can connect with the director of the hospital, but also with the clinicians or the IT systems. So they are kind of they have a real good overview of all their organization, and they need and know who to talk and when to talk to each other, so they can put innovation into the system. What we try to do is we have this health network, health innovation network, and we have invited today, if I'm not wrong, it's around 5 of these head innovation leaders in 5 different organizations. I think we will have time. So do you mind if they present themselves and their organization name, so you can just get a quick reference from where they are coming, and then I pass the word to Mark. Okay. So we'll start with Aaron. Want to present yourself and the company?
Hi. Good morning, everyone. I'm from Hospital de Granollers, and I'm working in the research and innovation area, doing different national or international projects and related to innovation and healthcare system.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Carmen.
Hello, my name is Carmen. I'm the
coordination of research and innovation in Palamos Hospital. We are located in the north area of Catalonia, and we are a small hospital compared to other hospitals that are here in the presentation today. Nice to meet you.
We have Rock.
Yes, hello, I'm Roc Page. I'm head of innovation of Alt Penedès Garraf Consortia, Health Consortia. We are 3 hospitals in the South Barcelona area. 3 hospitals in 3 locations, 1 rehab center and 1 primary care center. And we activate innovation from my area, basically from a bottom-up basis and also from a strategic basis.
Perfect. Alberto Zamora. You don't have the mic on.
Hello, I am Alberto. I am of the coordinator of innovation and research in the hospital, Blanes Hospital and Calella Hospital. They are 2 small hospitals, and we are working in health solutions. And this is our work. I'm very
Perfect.
nice
Thank
to
you.
meet you. Thank you.
And Victor.
Hello, my name is Victor, and I work as innovation manager at Fundació Salut Empordà. We are a small hospital covering primary care, intermediate care, and specialized care in our region.
So I think this is all 5 head of innovation departments hearing you. So Mark, now it's your turn.
Yeah, very quickly, because I am completely redundant here. So basically, I met BFI a few months ago, okay, and I love the purpose of BFI to build and integrate an ecosystem of innovation in India, okay, and putting together hospitals, entrepreneurs, investors, academics, and it's great what they have been building there. And as a rational next step, now what BFI is doing is promoting startups to come here to Europe, but also I think very important to learn and invite potentially innovation from, in this case, from Catalonia, but anywhere in Europe, to land in India. So this is not just a one-way direction. Even the program that we are now developing it together is in that direction, but also consider this from the Catalan side that this is also an opportunity to because we will see that more and more that European biotechs or innovation is also landing in India. Okay, so for me, the idea is just to interact experiences, opportunities, and see how something can flow from this. And yeah, that's it.
Okay, so let's flow. Shall we then give the word to the 4 companies, and then you can present a bit yourself of what you do, and then we just discuss. So should I mention them one by one? Let's start.
Oh, well, no, maybe Dibal, you can start. Don't worry. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
I hope I am audible.
Yes.
Yeah, just a minute. I'll open my presentation. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Right. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time out to talk to us. I will walk you through my presentation, which is about my company, and then we can have discussions at the end. So I think all of us would be aware of what Parkinson's is, right? And there are multiple treatments and drugs that are available to reduce the symptoms of Parkinson's, which essentially help you regain your motor function. Now, these are mostly delivered as pills, and it helps most of the patients. But in advanced Parkinson's, pills have very little effect or benefit. And a new regime of treatment through continuous delivery of the drug via pumps has come in the last few years. Now, these pumps can allow you more than 4 extra hours of on time, as they call it, in a day. And the drug for that is being available for a very long time. But the pump that delivers that drug is the blocking factor now. Currently, these pumps are roughly around 36 euros per year.
Sorry, Deval, it's not working well, the internet. You should move to, I don't know the others, but for me it's difficult.
Okay, just give me a minute. I'll go inside because I was trying to avoid the sound there. One second.
स्पीकर पे करो स्पीकर I hope is this better? Am I audible?
It's a lot better. Yes, thanks.
Right.
Yeah.
So let me just quickly start again in case it was not audible. So we are all aware of what Parkinson's is. The symptoms are very severe. You regain or you lose motor function. You're not able to handle basic tasks in your day. But pills help to an extent. But in advanced Parkinson's, that also wears off. And a new regime has come in the last few years where continuous delivery of these drugs with pumps have been helping improve these symptoms. And essentially, they can give back a patient with Parkinson's more than 4 hours of the day without any symptoms. Now, this combination of the drug as well as the pump costs roughly 36,000 euros per patient per year. And because of this high price, only 1 in 10 patients in Europe who need these devices and the drugs are able to get it. They are still on the oral forms of these medications. And just as I was mentioning, in the last 15 months, more than 3 regulatory approvals have come in Europe as well as the US for delivery of this drug and device together. So this makes it very important because this is slowly becoming the standard of care for advanced Parkinson's. And at OpenMed Labs, we are trying to remove the bottleneck of the pump that is the gateway for these drugs to get into the patients. We have a drug delivery pump that is already in advanced development in India, and we are looking to bring that also to Europe for partners in the pharmaceutical industry. Now, as I was mentioning, we are not a company that has a product in the concept stage, but for the insulin application where we started with, we are already in advanced development in India, currently in human trials. And we are also partnering with a pharmaceutical company to bring a couple of different applications to Europe and US, the first of which is for pulmonary arterial hypertension. But our focus on the EU is for the Parkinson's application, and where we are looking at raising funds and partnering with relevant parties. Now, the cost of our pump and the combination with a generic drug brings it down significantly. More than 70% cost savings can be retained by the payer. But more importantly, our pump is also much safer than our competing pumps because we are able to detect stoppage in the drug delivery much faster than other devices, sorry. And this basically means that under delivery and over delivery of the drug is stopped much sooner than other devices. Right now, we've looked at a drug and device with other platforms globally, focused in US and European markets, and we are at par, if not better, on most parameters. But more importantly, as you can see here, we are able to offer more than 70% cost savings for the payer as well. Right now, we have 2 patents which are granted in India, which allow us to work very freely in different markets. We have published data around the accuracy of our device in multiple literature. We have consulted FDA and determined the FDA that our device falls under the 510(k) pathway. And we've also engaged with multiple stakeholders to determine our pathway to market. As I was mentioning, the platform can work for multiple drugs. The insulin application is the most mature, but meant for India. The second application we are looking at is for treprostinil, which is meant for pulmonary arterial hypertension, that we are already in touch with a large Indian pharmaceutical company. And for the European application, we are looking to raise funds and develop the device to find a partner eventually. This is mainly meant for Parkinson's. With the combination of our generic and our pump platform, our estimate is we can save anywhere between 25 to 29,000 euros per patient per year. And that number shoots up to around 93,000 euros per patient per year for the US market. Right now, we are already generating some revenue by partnership with the pharmaceutical company, where we develop the device and customize it for their drugs. And then eventually, we do hope that some sales will come in from these devices in these markets. While this is more focused for the investors, but right now we are attempting to raise around 800,000 euros from the European investors so that we can develop this application for Parkinson's and then bring it to market with help from pharmaceutical companies. Our team right now is founded by me and Professor Manish, who is an academic, but we have people in our advisory board from business, clinical side as well. But most importantly, we have patients from different conditions on our advisory board who guide us on how to develop this device in a more user-centric manner. We have a team of 6 core full-time members supported by multiple other temporary members. And by backing this platform as a drug delivery device, we can open up multiple drugs, not just the ones we spoke about. And that can lead to multiple savings across different chronic conditions for payers in Europe. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you. Should we just make the 4 companies straight away and then we open the discussion? Is that okay? Okay, then let's do it. Next one is you, Mark. Can point them.
Serigen?
Okay.
Swati, can you hear us?
Yes.
Swati, you're on mute. You're trying to talk. Swati, you're on mute.
All right. Can I be heard and can my screen be seen?
Yes.
I removed my. Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Sorry. So we are Serigen. We develop tissue engineering product, tissue regeneration products. We are basically a tissue engineering company. And by tissue regeneration, what we mean is that developing a scaffold which can help the tissue which is wounded or removed or lost because of multiple reasons. Could be trauma, could be wound, could be internal damage, could be disease conditions. You need to provide the tissue a kind of scaffold which matches with its own characteristics, and the surrounding cells can then proliferate on it, grow, create the new tissue which is matching to the native tissue, and then preferably the scaffold should go away. Our business is that we do that for various tissues, and the material that we use for that is silk. So silk sutures have been known to be used in mankind for using in treating patients internally for more than 100 years. J&J was the first. What we have done is that we have used biocompatible material with a long clinical history into development of various tissue regeneration products. Our specialty lies here, from the solution of silk to the various tissue regeneration scaffolds. What I'm showing here in the picture is a bone void filler, which is Serios, which is osteoconductive bone void filler. And we also have Ceridum, which is advanced wound care product. So given the safe clinical history, given that we have expertise and we have multiple families of patents which are granted in various geographies, including Europe, US, Japan, and of course India. Given that we can change the crystalline structure of the silk and modulate the requirements to suit each tissue, we were best suited. Cerigen was the right company to take this up. The first product that we developed is a bone void filler. Conventionally, what is used when you have a larger gap in the bone, like say 3 to 4 centimeter or larger, doctors would use patient's own bone. That is the gold standard, which is called autograft. However, as you can see, it involves 2 surgeries, additional bones, and the supply is in limited quantity, which may not be appropriate in many cases, such as pediatric cases, geriatric cases, so on and so forth. Therefore, synthetic materials were developed, which are readily available. But the limitation with them was obvious, that the dissolution rate, that the bone formation rate and the absorption rate, there is a mismatch. There is disparity in that. And they do not possess the same mechanical property as that of bone, which leads to post-surgical complications. Some of them involve repeat fractures. So there has been a lot of work that was ongoing, and we were also working on this unmet need, which is globally identified, that a synthetic bone void filler that performs like an autograft is required. And we came up with Serios, which offers synchronized resorption, that is, it resorbs at the rate of the bone formation. It has this exact same mechanical properties of the natural bone. It does not give any post-surgical complications, and it has shown that it brings superior bone repair outcomes. We have also, so this Serios comes in various forms. Additionally, this is an added advantage to the surgeons, which is which can be blocks, putty, or powder. We have published all the science in reputed journals. And the mechanism by which Serios function, that it's a porous scaffold that guides the healthy bone cells to migrate and deposit new bone. And the key benefit is that we have established clinical data that shows the superiority to the leading global products. And most importantly, it also has proven return to functionality, which is a critical role of any tissue regeneration product. Unless your tissue functions in the same way, your functions are performed to the natural extent, then the complete regeneration is of no use. We completed in India pilot and pivotal both levels of trials. A pilot safety, the patients have completed more than 3.5 years establishing long-term safety of the product, whereas in pivotal, we included 80 patients, and of that, we compared very J product that is globally. We have shown that we have outstanding clinical outcomes with the excellent new bone formation in all these patients. We worked with reputed institutes in India, across India. These are some pictures where you can see comparison of Serios one-on-one. There is Serious used in this patient, whereas the J&J product was used in this patient. Similar fractures they have. At the end of 6 months, you see that here there is good joining of the new bone formation, whereas the J&J product in the white particulate matter that is still present, which is what I mentioned in the early part, that either they resolve too quickly or they never resolve, and thus don't help bone healing. This is a repeat surgery that patients typically come from because of the previously mentioned product. So similarly here, in both of these patients, the product did not work, and the implant you see, the white line, this is from a previous surgery. Both of them have a break in their femoral bone, and the first one gets Serios, the second one gets the J&J product. And at the end of 6 months, this bone has joined beautifully, whereas here again there is gap with the product in the surrounding tissue remaining like that unmetabolized. So we've shown this by analyzing all these patients, that, and the blinded review by the independent radiologist showed that Serios has clearly demonstrated superior bone healing over its competitor, that is Kronos. And we've shown that this change is statistically significant, and these advantages are seen even better in the age group which is beyond 45 years, where the bone formation ability has gone further down. We are about to launch this product in India, and we are also working with US FDA. We have had QSub, and we are preparing a dossier for submission. The comparison slide basically shows what I've been saying, that we have addressed all the gaps that were there with the current leading products, that this is Stimulan, Kronos, and Cerament, and G-Bone. This is an Indian product, but these three are globally used products, and they have the limitations as I mentioned, whereas we have tick marked all the required qualities. The second product is Ceridum, which is a wound care product, as I mentioned. We have, so this has all the indications of chronic wound as well as the acute wounds, which includes diabetic foot ulcers, pressure ulcers, that is bed sores, venous ulcers, burn patients, and all kinds of surgery, post-surgical cases. So though we have plethora of products today which are catering to wound care, still there are so many wounds which don't get healed, and in fact because of that we are losing a limb to the diabetic foot ulcer every 30 seconds across the globe. And this happens because these wounds don't heal. And what all of these are doing is that they are non-adherent, they can absorb, they can maintain the appropriate moisture. These three things are offered by most of the dressings that are there. However, these are in chronic inflammatory phase because, and unless you take away that inflammation, these wounds won't heal. And we have created a wound care product that addresses this need, which reduces the inflammation at the wound bed for faster and efficient scarless wound healing. This is again launched in India market. For more than 2.5 years, we are selling this across India. This is offered in various variants for diverse uses, and we've seen great results in Indian patients. We've seen the wounds which were not healing for 3 months getting jump started and healing. For just to give an example, I put here a case that is beautifully depicts the scarless wound healing in case of a 5-year male patient. It's a child who had severe burn injury to the hand because of hot water spillage. Single application of Ceridum, this is with silver ions, and you see completely healed hand with a completely native looking skin that is regenerated. As I mentioned, we are selling across India through multiple corporate chains, and we have presented our work in European Wound Management Conference in 2024. We have also published our work around this. And to summarize, we are selling Ceridum. We will be selling Serios. For both of these, we are in the process of 510K as well as CE marking. We have another soft tissue regeneration in development, matrix in development, which is called Cerimat, indicated in breast cancer reconstruction. reconstruction in breast cancer, mastectomies basically, and there are others. And this is supported by a diverse team of founders. Both Dr. Anuya and Premnath are polymer engineers. Dr. Anuya is a founder and CEO of the company, and she brings the expertise in silk. Dr. Premnath understands the overall ecosystem of medical device development. He himself has developed and commercialized medical devices previously. Etc. Okay. Okay. We currently are catering to skin, orthopedics, and eventually cancer. We will be also catering to the large market that is in tissue regeneration. And the plan ahead is to, of course, on one side to develop more products, develop IP, and do the core development of products, secure CDSO, USFDA clearances, have regulatory clearance from C, and conduct the cities globally to establish superiority. So we are looking for some support here where we can have some KOLs who can work with us and help us in developing the clinical trials and eventually become our ambassadors when we land in EU market. Yeah, this is mainly for the investors, and that's it. So please ask me questions if you have, or I stop my presentation.
Thank you so much, Swati.
Thank you.
It was really interesting. I think that we will try to leave the questions for the end of the session. Shall we go then to the next presentation?
Yes, Divyansh.
Yeah. Just give me a sec, I will share my screen. Hello. Okay, is it visible?
It is, but Divyansh, can you be a little louder?
Okay, is it visible now? Is it better now?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I'll just run through the pitch and then we can have a proper discussion. Hi everyone. This is Diagnosis. Do you know that every year autism costs Europe 50 billion euros, and most of that cost is determined before the age of 5 for each kid? So an autistic kid in Europe itself can have two different paths. One in which he's late diagnosed, 4 or 5 or even later, and at an early age, 2 or 3. Now, there's a key problem when the diagnosis is late. That is that there are key developments that happen in the brain from the age of 2 to 5, which are missed, and the symptoms of autism are locked in. So it's much better to have therapy given much earlier. So it's given in the research that for 2 to 3 years of this missing, for the same functional gain, therapy time increases by 1.5 years. So you can imagine the cost increase for the therapies. And this number is not small at all. There are 4.2 million births per year, of which around 33,000 autistic kids. So you can imagine the amount of savings and the health economics benefits of just doing early intervention. Now, the current problem is that on the clinical side, on the hospital side, such as yourself, there are no tools except questionnaires, which need an expert and require a lot of time. So that clinical expert's time is not utilized exactly to give therapies, but to also assessments. Now, eye tracking is something that we have incorporated in our tool. That's what we propose as a solution, in which, so let me get back. To detect autism, basically, you need to know if the child's attention is Does it has like some issues? Does it pay attention? Does the child pay attention in a normal way, or is it in a different way? So to do that, we have based our solution on an eye tracking based tool, which has been established as a biomarker for autism detection in the last 10 to 15 years, mainly by research in US. So the way we do it is using a laptop or a computer and a webcam. We show the child a video. In this video, there are multiple modules from which we measure different things. So we see if the child prefers social versus some geometric patterns. So does he avoid social cues? Or does he understand the emotion that's being portrayed in the video? Or does he respond to his name and other stuff like that? On the basis of this, we extract a lot of features on the back end, and our AI tool then gives out a report in just 5 minutes. So the whole process, video plus report, takes like 5 minutes. So now what we have done is from a questionnaire-based form, which requires an expert, takes almost an hour plus, and even more for report formation. We have taken that time down to 5 minutes, and the report is given. Now there is a key distinction. We are not a diagnostic tool. We are a clinical support tool, like a screening tool, screening quote unquote. But what it does is gets the assessment cohort much concentrated. That saves slots on the front end. I'll explain that later as well. So how did we do the research on this? We had a really detailed protocol for this, and we did it all under ethical committee clearance with AIIMS Jodhpur, which is one of the premier institutes in India. And the results were quite fantastic. We compared it with the gold standards like CARS 2, which are internationally recognized. The initial studies were small pilot studies. Eventually, we had a big cohort of 700 plus kids from AIIMS Jodhpur and other centers across India. And the results were quite good. We are comparing pretty well with the gold standard, around 86% for both sensitivity and specificity. So we've published papers on the basis of this. We've got ISO 13485, the regulatory CDSU Class B license in India, and we are operational in India. Now, to come back to the point of the value creation with and without AI diagnosis, basically we give the clinicians, the psychologists and the experts a much more concentrated cohort, so that ultimately we free up a lot of slots, and that also frees up a lot of waiting time. Right now, there's a backlog across Europe, and the time it takes is around 12 to 15 months. Across Europe, I don't know exactly about Catalonia, but yeah, across Europe, there is a backlog, and we can clear that up using AI diagnosis. Ultimately, the vision for the company and the tool is to get this as not just a clinical support tool, but an entire screening tool, so that every kid is going through this, and we are able to catch autism much early, very similar to other mass level campaigns like polio vaccine level campaigns. Yeah, the market itself here is huge. 1.7 billion euros per year. That's just for European Union, but that's the TAM, the whole market. And then we estimate that given initial adoption levels, we might be able to get to 72 million or so per year by the end of 5 years. In India, we have a good traction right so far. We are working with the government, the state government there, which we are establishing across 20 centers right now, and we want to expand to 1,200 centers here. Similarly, we are working with a big pharma company and a few screening companies as well, which just go into the remote areas and do screening, as well as school networks and school infirmary networks. So overall, we have multiple use cases or different areas which we are tapping for detection of autism. Our aim to get to Europe is first to do the regulatory part plus the clinical evaluation part, which is where the hospital network would be really, really useful. And then, go to the notified body and do the CE marking, and then put this as a tool to be used. So far, we have raised around €500,000 from established VCs like Antler, and we were also selected as the top 20 AI startups in India by Google last year, and we are excited by them. And we've had some other praise so far. So for now, we are raising about 1 million for 10%, where the breakdown of the fund's usage would be is around this, most of it going for clinical evaluations and operations and regulations as well. And at the end of the fund usage, you would have a CE-ready product that will be launched in Europe. And we have to decide what the pricing model would be. So that's still something in the research. Speaking of the clinical team and the whole team, I am Divyansh. I have a background in physics and then as an AI engineer as well. And my co-founder Rakshit, has done his bachelor's in AI from Virginia Tech and NMIMS Mumbai, and is also very interested in applying AI to healthcare. So he was working previously in healthcare as well. Clinically, we have very important doctors on our advisory board. Dr. Ramesh Agrawal from AIIMS Delhi. He's the HOD of Mother and Child Block, very influential and key in making our research protocol. And Dr. Saini, who is the neurodevelopmental pediatrician at AIIMS Jodhpur. He was on the ground with us, collecting data, labeling it, telling us all the, like following the protocol with us. And fun fact, both me and Rakshit's fathers are both pediatricians, so health tech comes naturally, I guess. Yeah, we also have a good team of psychologists and technologists at home in India. And ultimately, my ask for you as a healthcare network is to help us understand the workflows in Catalonia so that we understand what the use cases can be for diagnosis in Catalonia, Spain, and the EU. We would also love to see how to work on research, bridge studies, and clinical evaluations. And ultimately, how can we price this? How to put this in the screening solution or as a clinical support tool? And how can governments and private networks adopt this? Thank you.
Thank you, Divyansh. Thank you for your presentation. I think Napurna and Pooja that Intignus couldn't connect at the end. As Napurna was saying, Divyansh, could you please just stop sharing? Otherwise, we are still seeing your yes. Thank you. So I was saying, Intignus couldn't connect. I didn't see them in the meeting, but as Annapurna was saying, it's a company that has a tool that can help diagnose preeclampsia during pregnancy. So I think it's time now for questions and answers. And actually, my first question was already answered by Divyansh, but it would be the same question that I would ask for to Dival or Dr. Swati. It's actually what do you need from Catalan healthcare organizations? Like, if we open the doors of our organizations, what would be your plans? Is it to work with you, as Divyansh was saying, to study and to present the Catalan workflows and look for use cases? Is it to participate in a clinical trial? We have to say that 90% of the clinical trials that are developed in Spain are developed in Catalonia. So we have a good track record of participating in clinical trials. We could also help you with that. But to be more accurate, what would you need from Catalan healthcare organizations? Divan. Good track You are muted now.
Sorry, I hope I'm audible now.
Okay, now. You're all together. Okay.
Yeah, since the bandwidth is limited here of the Wi-Fi, we are, all three startups are here.
Okay, perfect.
Right. So I think the ask is pretty similar. There are multiple asks for each startup, some of which may apply, some of which may not apply. I think I'll just summarize the top three requirements. One is, of course, opportunities for potential collaboration. It can be either co-development of the next generation of products or the current devices being brought into clinical studies via common grant applications. Second would be, of course, inputs that we would benefit from, such as patient workflows, doctor workflows, clinical workflows. And third would be a guidance on how to go about the market access path. Of course, we've understood in our time here how the EU system would work and what market access would entail. But coming from clinician side, we would understand what exactly do they need, and if there is any even design changes required in the device, we can make that before we apply for CE mark.
Yeah.
And the path for hospital procurement as well.
Yeah. And may I add, even for research and basically getting, so we are supposed to have an entity in Europe now, which would help us get research funds as well. So we can share that research project with the hospitals as well. So 5 things.
Perfect. So my next question would be actually, how can we do these connections? So should we contact BFI, and from there we contact each of you if any healthcare organization is interested in any of them? They will probably be interested in all of them because they were really, the three of them, really interesting. But if someone has a special interest in any of them, should we contact BFI? So we come in.
So far, what we have been doing is that after our meetings, BFI and Aging Science team sets up a common email chain, and then we can branch out into our respective email chains for each startup. And I think after our discussions here, we'll anyways understand, we'll be able to clearly communicate the device and our value proposition. So we can have a focused discussion on the email chain directly instead of going through this.
Perfect. So from the Catalan healthcare organizations, does anyone have any question regarding all the three companies that presented today? Any comment?
Yes, sorry. About the project of digital, of bones and
yeah, the tissue.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Yes. So are you working for a multicentric proof of concept in Europe with any process or competitive call?
Yes, we are working towards a global trial for Serios, the bone word filler, and that is for so that eventually we can use our Indian data and augment this clinical data generated from across globe to apply to other geographies. That's what is the plan, and we that is actually so we also have raised funds around that, and we want to take that up immediately.
Okay, so in case that this global trial starts or go on, I assume that Jordi, you would work to try to find
totally.
potential. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for your interest. Thank you. May I ask you what are the current options that you are using in bone void filling?
Well, our hospitals, our image diagnose has I cannot tell you technically, I'm not a doctor, but we have several. We are opening to new potential systems and innovations. So that's why I asked that our department is it's an open mind department that some potential improvements they are open to be able to look if they can be integrated or not.
Thank you.
Then we should check also which are the current usages of tissue reparation.
Yeah,
And
that will help
then
me.
go back and see and compare with the solutions proposed. And this goes as well with the autism diagnosis and the Parkinson treatment strategies. So after hearing all the three presentations, I think the next steps by our side will be to check which is the current situation in these three lines of work, like Parkinson, tissue reparation, and autism, and see whether it fits, whether if the solutions proposed fit. It can be because there is nothing applied, or because the solution that you propose is better than and more efficient and more beneficiary than the solutions that are already placed. So then when we do this work, we will come back and we will check on whether the solutions proposed separately can start working with the clinician teams from our organizations and see, and then as Divianish was saying, like working on use cases that we can present to projects, or see if there is a clinical trial, then we can connect with all the different settings where the clinical trial can be done.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think also if we can get some inputs directly from clinicians, or have a short interaction with clinicians directly in this space, that would really help us, because I think we tried that yesterday at Belvite Hospital, where directly we were showing the presentation to clinicians. Some very sharp and clear feedback we received, which possibly all of us could incorporate as well. Yeah. So it would be really helpful if we can have. I understand clinicians will be busy, but if we can have like a 15-minute, 30-minute short call for each startup with the relevant clinician, we can make sure we find the right person beforehand and have a short call. That would be really helpful.
Yeah, that's what we will do, and that's also why we recorded this session. We will share it with the innovation teams so they can get to the clinicians at the right.
So would it help if
do you have any question? Yeah.
Sorry. Hi, this is
No,
Pooja.
you go.
I'm the director for the biomedical and research vertical at BFI. I was just wondering, would it help if the startups also shared their non-confidential slide deck? Would that
Totally
help?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because then we will also share it with the right teams and the right clinicians. So if they raise interest, then we can point them to the specific startup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally.
I think that would be great.
So I have one question. Is there a pediatric specific hospital in the network?
And is St. John included in the network? Because we already had a conversation with them, and one of the clinicians is working on very similar stuff. So he would be a great connect. And even otherwise, if there are pediatric hospitals, would love to talk.
So sorry, can you repeat the question? If there is a specific healthcare centers related to autism, is the question?
Yeah, or to pediatrics, basically. Mental health or pediatrics.
Yeah, for pediatrics, there are specific hospitals that work in pediatrics. But then we also have to take into account the distribution of the primary care, which is a place where these first detections of autism could be also interested on exploring, and then going and be referred to the acute hospitals to make the final diagnosis. But when you were presenting, I was just thinking that maybe in primary care they could also be interested in this. So primary care is across all the territory, and all these healthcare organizations, most of them have primary care settings also working. This is a good place to start, because some of these healthcare organizations have the specialists and then the primary care settings all in the same organization. So then the workflows and communications work better than in other regions where the primary care and the hospital are run by two different healthcare organizations. So then the communication and the flow is not as straight as we would want. So to try new tools, it's better to find a place or an organization that have both specialist and healthcare primary care centers. But we will work on it.
Perfect. Thank you.
So
any questions?
I think we are fine. I think we got all the information that we needed, and now it's time for us to do some research, to work on these lines: autism, Parkinson, and tissue generation, and see which are the clinicians that are interested to know your solutions a bit more, and also to check which is the standard of care in each of these three lines. And then we come back and see how this progress.
Jody, just one clarification from my side, from Open MedLab side. The drug delivery platform, that is the pump that we have built, can be applied to multiple drugs. So right now there are three main applications. One is for delivery of insulin, so essentially an insulin pump. Second is for delivery of a drug called treprostinil, which is meant for pulmonary arterial hypertension. That also we can do, and that is the one we are actually already partnered with a pharmaceutical company which has a drug which is approved in Europe and US. And the third is for a Parkinson's drug, which is called levodopa or apomorphine. Either of these can work. And for that also we can use the same pump, and that is where we are looking for a pharma partner in Europe to work with. So it could be, the reason I'm saying this is because the clinicians.
So apart from Parkinson, apart from Parkinson, you're asking us to do some homework on the other two, right? Insulin.
One more.
And which more?
So I think the Parkinson's one, as well as the pulmonary arterial hypertension one. These two. Insulin is mainly meant for India because the insulin pump is mature in Europe right now.
Okay, we'll do. Perfect. So if there are no more questions on the table, I think we can call it for today. We have to ask and say thank you to all the healthcare organizations that connected here today, and also to BFI and to these three fantastic startup pioneers that presented their solutions. So thank you all for connecting here today, and let's see what are the next steps and the next connections that we do.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jordi. Thank you,
so much.
everyone.
We'll keep in contact.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.